I mean, you do this shit like a religion. You become accustomed to being an abuser to your life. You're always attending. Like I said, negativity needs attention. Positivity is able to naturally float on its own type of vibe. Negativity, it has its own vibe because yes, it brings you down, but it needs you. It's always pulling you. You know, it's like you ever see a great guy with a woman who's always sucking his energy out, or a great woman with a guy who's always sucking her energy away, taking it out of her, right? It's like they're pulling your own cells out of your body in a sense, and you don't have anything but your load now. They've taken it all from you. You're kind of empty in a weak way, and that's sort of what negativity kind of does. It doesn't really help you. It kind of circulates around darkness in an abusive way. Now, criticism is different. Being hard on somebody through respect is different. And you can do this to yourself. I had a problem with it. I used to always be hard on myself through disrespect, though. And it's not something you pay attention to first, but you come to an agreement, and you're like, "Hey, nigga, you gonna stop being a disrespectful asshole to me?" Then you upgrade. "Hey, bro, you gonna stop being an asshole to me?" Then you're gonna be like, "That's unhealthy behavior." You start dialing it down. It's like dudes who tend to realize how to deal with women who are very, very, very nagging or narcissists. You start to look at them like, yeah, we're not dealing with that no more. You start to have value for yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And that's all with knowing that the negativity it just comes with a whole bunch of darkness. And usually it is not constructive criticism or respectable criticism. Not that shit. That shit's cool. But I'm talking about stuff that's just naturally pulling you down for no reason. Every day you wake up, you got this drag along, It's like you're dragging along your shadow, and it has a whole bunch of weight. You don't want to get involved in that. And that's what fear can make you do. Like I said, you can have that blanket. That's never get taken down. It's like a damn, remember in school, we used to have the little light that the teacher would turn on, and then she'll pull down the projector screen. Pull that bitch up. You need to see the white screen. You need to see the whiteboard. You don't need to keep putting some fake ass thing in front of you like it's gonna save you from this inner feeling that you've continued to consume to help you run away from what you really wanted to say hi to. We all do it. Nothing to feel ashamed of. It's actually something to be acceptable of because you begin to realize that ain't nobody 100% different at a level to where we can't agree and understand each other. Right? So, if you continue to realize that, it's like you have to become intentional. But you can't become, like I said, that intention with fear. It's like a fantasy, something that you desire without knowing. You desire it without wanting to walk up and go grab it. It's like you hungry, but you don't want to go cook. You want to continue to get takeout. Well, eventually you're going to get sick, bro. Then you're going to have to restart the whole process. But if you get yourself up, you walk in the kitchen, and if you're a person who cooks food, cool. If you like raw salads, cool. If you like cashews with cayenne pepper on them after you soak them, cool. If you do whatever you like, you got to go ahead and get up, walk there, do it, because you can. It's blocking you. Like I said, another example, you say you want to eat something, right? But you get up and you're like, something just blocked you. Literally, something just blocked the thought, bro. As simple as that. Like, and there's layers to it. Like some people who have a problem or an addiction, they have layers to their fear. Some people who have maybe a conversation away from doing what they want to do, they don't have many layers in their fear. They may have that one layer because they didn't probably consistently attain to their habits throughout the whole, for example, 3 months. They probably missed a fucking week. So the habits are probably starting to lack. Who knows? They're probably starting to lack habits, and now they got a little fear, and you're like, I gotta catch that, I gotta get that. You don't need that in my world, You continue to rinse and repeat what's working. So that's just an example, though. And hopefully all this stuff is making sense. But yeah, and hopefully my microphone is not covered. Damn. Anyways, man. So yeah, It's kind of like fear. And these explanations, they're not the best. They're just my experiences. So, and like, as you continue to consume what is going to work for you, as in how to cancel out fear, because it's literally just a habit that you've built to block your own intentions. It's a habit you've built to block your own intentions. And what else do? You add pictures, you add images, you keep voices and memories, you keep certain triggers that can put you in fear. And this goes for what? Happiness as well. This goes for sadness. They're just emotions that describe awareness. That's it. And when you communicate to yourself about these emotions that your body is feeling and that your mind is registering, you begin to become aware. Now you're aware of who you are. Because emotions just have descriptions of what you've gone through. That's why some people who've gone through worse shit, they're catered to what? Emotion. Okay, cool. Then you have people who've gone through some high vibrational, like children who are probably born with two parents who have positive mentalities on life 90% of the time. Those are going to be, majority of the time, excellent children. Then you have the kids who grow up in beautiful houses, but their parents are shit. Those are the ones who go search for the bad, you know? Then you have the child who grew up in a household who had a great parent, but something in the mix got fucked up, and they continued to stay with each other and produce X amount of kids, but they didn't solve their problems. That's us. That's us. You know? That's us. So we get passed down traumatized generation to generation. And you come across and you're like, damn, where did I get this from? Who sold this to me? You know? Can I be mad though? No. Yes. Let's find out. Let's move with intention. Eventually you're gonna find out. Or you're just gonna have a silver cap over your head if you watch my last video like Jimmy Neutron, and you're gonna be walking around like a robot. Wondering what the fuck is you? Who are you? That's what you're gonna want. That's exactly what you're gonna wonder. You're gonna wonder who you are this whole time, and some people don't wake up. Some people are trapped in an emotion, an image, a sound that is created into a system. 15, 14 years. While a lot of people, I wouldn't say quote unquote, but yeah, I'm gonna erase that. A lot of people wake up to their spirit. So their spirit is now alive. They've always had it, they just didn't know that it was literally there. So the spirit finally wakes up and they have awoken. I'm woke. And now they're able to come to their conscience. Then they get to the second layer, which is the subconscious. And they begin to have dialogue. That's the beautiful part. Because they wanted to find out. They were intentionally curious. And they already accepted what was going to happen, whether right or wrong. They just wanted to know the weight of both, so they can do what? Balance it. You know, when you're living in your own world, you begin to learn how to balance the world that was handed to you from your parents. And then that world that you were given, which is here, this is the world, is what you've seen, experienced, what they've seen, not seen, but what they've experienced emotionally. And you take their emotions onto your experience, if that makes sense. Now you have you. When you erase their emotions from your experiences, you get a fresh plate. Now you, instead of getting up from your seat and not being able to go make a meal that you wanted to make, you can go make the meal. Because now you're not living with someone else's emotions that were handed to you because they didn't heal themselves from whatever they went through. So all the screaming that you got dealt by your pops or your mother, all the anger, and then all the happiness and all the sadness and all the excitement, the spontaneous things, it's all from them because you're just shadowing who they are. They're your teacher. And then you get to a point like I'm speaking now and you're like, oh shit, we don't need to be taught by them anymore because they don't have the same intentions that I do. Come on. Just a selective amount of tools that are decently helpful. And you appreciate that. That's why they always say appreciate your parents, just for that solely reason. Family is family, but intention, authentic intention, and I mean something that came and derived from you after you detached from them. Now you have your authentic intentions on what you want to do in the world. You don't have what they've tried to instill in your brain from what they've experienced in life. You have what you've instilled in your brain from your experiences, thankfully from their tools that helped you get to that point. Now it's time to snake, shed, or lizard, shed, and build your own skin, build your own organs, build your own cells, have your own conversations. Maybe you didn't really like Jordans on your feet. Maybe you only fuck with 90s. But you'll never probably know that simple fact. It's simple. I know it's simple. It don't really mean shit, but it's you. It's something that you fuck with. When you fuck with yourself, it's always gonna resonate with you. It doesn't have to always center. You don't have to be the center of attention. You don't have to be the center of the one. Like, I'm the orbiter. I run this shit. Like, come on, bro. You become into you. Not love romantically, but respect, love, building. You know what I'm saying? Strong. You become firm with how you like to live life. And that's who you admire. You have to admire a person that you'll never be able to quit on, get tired of, and use in a negative way. You can use yourself in a negative way like we all do. Like how we all always sabotage ourselves, but say we don't want to sabotage ourselves. That person can get gone if you just get authentic, if you get intentional and you detach from what was before and discover what the hell is after this. Because you know life before, especially if you have siblings. You know life before because there's different pieces of each sibling from these two emotional people or non-emotional people, whichever parent type you get. And emotions are damn near everything. We all need to be able to have awareness around our emotions because they give you signals. They're important. Very important. And when you get it, now you can look at all your other siblings and you can tell whether this shit was good or whether it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And you go from there, bro. And you enjoy it all. Because as you change, you can't, I don't like that word. As you change, majority of the time, stepping back into the old world, we all know. Come on, bro. Highly uninteresting. We don't want to be there. Bad ball game. 30 seconds or 4, whichever you choose, but let's get it back together. Plan it out a different way. You don't want to go back. You want to continue to decisively enjoy. Decisively means this. When you're indecisive, you're usually trying to filter between listening to the flesh and listening to the spirit. The flesh is usually something that's dead. The spirit is usually something that has a life source to it, or a life force. Why a lot of people practice celibacy and moving their energy while they're on celibacy, not being stagnant. So when you're practicing which one to listen to, because you don't want to be indecisive, you want to be very decisive. You want to have discernment. begin to fall for the admirable image of this authentic person that you continuously have conversations with at a higher frequency, higher conscience.